has 8 of the 10 fastest growing countries in the world. So economic growth is happening in certain countries and in certain segments. But there are a number of people, a continent of 1 billion people, who are left behind in Africa's growth story. So we look at the U.S. African Development Foundation as being contributors to the broader African growth story. We're the only U.S. government agency that is directly supporting African organizations, African enterprises. Our average grant size is $130,000 and goes to a community group of about 750 people. So you think about $100,000 investment, grant investment, into a community enterprise, an agricultural cooperative of about 750 people. We want that grant investment to create at least 3 times revenue. And so I don't want it to look at assistance for assistance sake. I want us to think about there is a return on investment. A country like Liberia, let's take that for example. 20 years of civil war, 20 years of no high school graduates. How are they going to grow more food? How are they going to sell that food to their local communities and local towns? And we supported in Liberia a women's cooperative. Again, war creates, orphans. War creates widows. Those widows, their husbands were lost in war, and then they're able to now have the ability to get some funding to really grow crops, to sell those crops.
USADF have trained me how to do business, how to do plenty of things for on my own, so I have to stay on my own and do other things for myself.
To go to school, but they respect now on me. People know me because they help from ADF. People able to know me because I'm moving. If they know the way we moving now, anywhere I go and talk to people, they able to help my children to go to school through the business that I'm making.
In Southern Africa, the country of Malawi is a perfect example where there's economic poverty due to drought, due to economic hardships throughout the continent, but there's also energy poverty, lack of access to electricity. The grid, the electrical grid, is something that's going to take decades to reach all of the population. And so we focus a lot on off-grid energy, energy that comes from whether it's the sun or from wind or from water. And so working with community groups that are finding energy solutions, not only to live their day-to-day lives, but to also transform their enterprises.
It was difficult for me because the lights, I was not having lights, we were using the candles, so it was difficult to do anything or business at the night.
I light in our community, I light in our country that we are one of the people or the pioneers to bring simple light to people, which they are buying in a pay-as-you-go system. Definitely, we have to be very proud, but again, very appreciative, and take the road that he has directed us this direction.
We have 500 community enterprises that we're supporting in. Where do they go after we've done our level of funding, our grant support? Where are the ones that are really knocking it out the park, to use that phrase? And these are the organizations and the companies that are now local coffee cooperatives that are selling into Starbucks supply chain. These are African energy entrepreneurs that are getting support from GE in Africa to be off-grid energy champions. These are young people who are creating solutions in northern Nigeria that's impacting maternal child care. The economic vitality of the continent of Africa is truly going to impact the U.S. not only today, but our nation for years to come. This is a continent that has oil and gas, that has agricultural productivity, that has a level of consumers and producers, which we want to be a part of. We look at this as we're showing a model. How did America come about? Ingenuity, industrialization, building enterprises. How is Africa going to become the continent truly of growth, of real dynamism, of momentum? It's through those same tools of business creation, of market creation, of real enterprise development. Development in Africa is essential to peace and security in the United States. We've seen it from a health scare, we've seen it from insurgency and terrorism. We've seen it time and time again. So it's in our national interest to have an investment in these local African communities, in these local enterprises. ADF plays a critical role in creating local economic development so people really feel like that they're able to create businesses and have economic opportunities for themselves, their families, their communities, and ultimately their countries.